Hey everyone, welcome to Random Encounters, episode 2 here on Game Night Now on Twitch. I'm here as always with Mex,
Yep.
Steve, and back after a short hiatus, Tim. How you guys doing?
Good, good.
Yeah, great.
So, what have we been playing lately?
I haven't been playing shit. Actually, the 2 hours that I did get to play games, I beat Dungreed 2 more times, and now I'm trying to find out if I need to beat it more times to unlock more stuff, or if it's time to just call it quits and move on.
Hey, when you play a game, you get your money's worth out of it.
It's good. I like the progression system of you can reset your level and you get some bonus shit to permanently carry with you, and as soon as you hit level 20 you can max out one of the stats, and the third stat lets you carry an item from the random dungeon with you, because all your shit disappears after you get killed or whatever. So you find something really good and you just grab onto it and keep going through the dungeon over and over again. And I like that. That was pretty interesting. So beat it twice. I think you can go up to 4 or 5 times and still unlock things.
Good stuff. Tim, you find that any time to play video games?
Oh, not so much right now. The holidays are pretty much sucking up all my time.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, I'm gonna go a little bit out of order, but Max, what Pokemon hour count are we up to?
I haven't eaten in 2 days. I can't sleep anymore. I'm taking time off from work, using my vacation days just to come home and play Pokemon. It's I'm up to 135 hours in 19 days. So that's a solid 7 hours a day for 19 days. Yeah.
That, and you're taking time off work.
Well, I got to use my vacation time before the end of the year, so.
Oh, okay. So you're using it anyways, but you're just filling your vacation time with Pokemon. Let's go. Well, you bought Smash. Have you played it at all?
I played it for like 3 hours maybe. I'm awful at Smash. I've always been awful. I tried to unlock Jigglypuff and he kicked my ass so badly that I couldn't rematch him. And he's the only character I want, so I was really upset about that. Because it takes like 10 minutes or so to rematch somebody or just encounter a new character.
We'll get into that in a second. If you go into not Smash, actually it might be Smash, one of the other game modes, and look in the lower right hand corner, there's a little Challenger Approaches logo. It's a picture of a door. Yeah. That's where you rematch the people you lost to.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll have to go back and do that. But yeah, that's all I want is Jigglypuff, and he kicked my ass so badly that I just stopped playing.
There's entirely too many characters in that game. They don't start you out with enough. I probably have 15 or 16 hours in the game, and I have maybe 40 characters of the 76 unlocked.
It's pretty good. I think I have 20-ish. So
the only reason I have that many unlocked is because there is a trick where if you close out the application and open the game back up and play match, you'll immediately get encountered by another random encounter, and then you can just close the app back out, open it up again, and just rinse and repeat.
So you can kind of work your way around the 10-minute time gate.
Yeah, you can reset that timer. They did put in a fail safe where you have to move a certain amount before a new character will approach you, but it's cumulative. So I play a couple of online matches to get the distance the character travels in there, and then I shut the game off and then do 5 or 6 and start over again. But the game's awesome. Tim, when's the next fight night? Because I'm ready to kick all your asses.
Soon. Definitely one when Mortal Kombat comes out. But
well, we got a little bit of time before that. I hope we get one in before then, because once Mortal Kombat comes out, I don't think you're going to be able to convince you to have a Smash night.
No, we could do one soon. Yeah, we'll figure one out.
Sounds good. All right. Well, because the Game Awards were this week and there are so many announcements, we are just cramming all the news into our rapid fire segment, Do You Care? We're going to call it Do You Care? Game Awards edition. I picked 10 or so topics out of the many announcements that were announced at the Game Awards last Thursday. and stop me if you care. First big announcement that came out, saw a Marvel logo come across the screen, saw a Switch logo come across the screen. Ultimate Alliance 3, 2019 Nintendo Switch exclusive. You guys care?
I'm not a Marvel person, so no.
Ultimate Alliance was a good game. It looks really bad. That's about all I have to say about it. I don't know if they just didn't try or use the same engine that they were using for the mobile games, but it does not look like it's not a very pretty looking game.
This is a fighting game.
No, this is like a dungeon crawler.
Like Diablo-esque.
Yeah.
Oh, is that stupid one that was like on mobile for a while?
Maybe. I am not familiar with. There's a lot of Marvel mobile games. There was 2 Ultimate Alliance games previous to this. They were actually pretty good games.
Yeah, I played a fair amount of the first one.
Yeah, you picked a character and you teamed up with your friends and you just kind of
beat them up,
top down isometric, beat them up type thing. They're good games, and I just the way it looks, and I'm not usually that big of a snob when it comes to graphics, but I'm gonna have a hard time spending $60 on this because it looks like a cell phone game. All right, next up, Far Cry New Dawn officially revealed. We talked about the teaser last week. You guys care?
I really liked the last one. So I'm kind of the last one was the first one I really got into. So I'm kind of thinking I might get into this one now. So yeah, I kind of care about that.
I had said before I liked the last one. I liked the setting. I don't really care for post-apocalypse settings all that much outside of like Fallout. So it's interesting, but without like a new gameplay hook or mechanic. I'm interested to see reviews and then a sale, but it's not a day one buy for me.
Is that coming out on every
some
platform?
other? Yeah, it's coming out for everything that Far Cry 5 came out on. You don't have to wait very long. It's coming out February 15th. It is a $40 game, so it's not going to be a full, $60 release. Set 17 years after the spoiler alert global nuclear catastrophe that happened at the end of Far Cry 5.
That was a great twist, by the way.
Yeah. I hated that ending. I was actually I was not a fan of that.
This is perfect. We have 2 different conflicting opinions there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I liked how in the end it wrapped up and the guy was like, "I told you so," and you're like, "Yeah, I guess so. Well, I hope you burn in hell." And then you don't, and the fucker's stuck with you in a bunker.
Yeah, I love the cult. Like I like cults. I like reading about that stuff. So I thought the whole cult setting and everything was just super interesting. So that's the only thing I'm worried about. The new one, it's like, well, did the cult thing get me? And I was just really into the cult. Like, but I'm not sure. We'll find out when it comes out because I'll probably end up getting it. Because
I feel like it'll be an indirect link. Like maybe people will have idolized or twisted the already twisted message in the future, but I don't think it's going to be like, a direct ancestor. I think it's going to be a very basic, there's the peace-loving idiots with their bases, and then there's like the marauders that come and steal shit, and you're just stuck in between. It doesn't look any more complicated than that until they show more. Which is why.
Have you watched the trailer? Did you watch the trailer for it? What's the dude's name that he's like, that he's in the trailer and on the box art, he's tied to the car in the background. Like, hell's the guy's name? The cult leader dude?
No, he should have been dead by then, unless he's an old man.
No.
So 17 years in the future.
17 years.
17. I thought it was way more than that.
No, because he was probably in his 40s it's what it appeared to be. I can't remember his name right now in the game. John something.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Joseph Seed.
Yes, Joseph Seed. Yes.
Yeah, he makes an appearance in the trailer, and he's most definitely tied to the car on the box art, so he's gonna play a role in this game.
Okay,
most interesting villain Far Cry ever had. I think that's just me, but I liked him as a villain.
Yeah, I was definitely wrong then, because I think in terms of actual Fallout, where it's like hundreds of years later, where people have to rebuild civilization, because you're not going to step foot on an irradiated wasteland in like 10 years and be like, there's green grass everywhere, everything's cool. But I mean, the only thing I did not enjoy about Far Cry 5 was how you activate boss fights, because as soon as you cross the threshold of points, you just do it. You get like shot in the leg, even if you're flying a plane, you pass out, and then you're in one of the pre-scripted like story fights. And
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
that sucked. I would much rather have like selected to go do something. It was just too interruptive, because I'd be shooting stuff and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I'm coming to get you." It's like, I don't really have time for this. I don't want to deal with
in a
it.
big
But
in a
there were
big
certain
open world
quests
game
you
like
had
that,
to
you almost
do.
want to be able to choose when you're gonna tie yourself into things like that.
Yeah, but
it's
no,
kinda,
you didn't have to do the quests. As long as you were just causing enough shit to get to the certain point values, they'd just take you.
Okay, yeah, okay. That was when you had, yeah. That's you didn't fight them. They just snatched you up.
Well,
they,
I mean, yeah, they would snatch you up, but then I think each one of them had 3 times they'd grab you, and then the last one you fought them, and it was just disruptive, because like I'm trying to do a hunt, I blew up a couple cars along the way, I hit some targets, ran into a base, and all of a sudden they're like, you took a sleep arrow, and now you got to go talk to me, and then we're gonna leave your ass on the other side of the map, and I'm like, fucking hell.
I never found it that interrupted, but I definitely, I know what you're saying, but it never really, I never really thought about it that way. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
So
it
is
just
this
annoyed
something
me.
you guys would think about picking up then?
Yeah.
If you like the last game?
Yeah, I'd try. I'd go with him on a sale, because I'm not convinced I like the last.
$40
game
is on sale. What are you talking about?
No, I wanna see what people say about it, because all the DLC for Far Cry 5 flopped, unfortunately. I think I picked up one during the last holiday sale. It was like the zombie one, because it was the cheapest, even though it was like supposedly the worst. Haven't played it yet. So I wanna see some reviews, since there's nothing currently hooking me into the game.
Good. Well, if you guys don't like, or if you don't like post-apocalyptic, then you're not gonna like a lot of the crap we talk about on this show, because post-apocalypse was the everybody is trying to jump on the post-apocalypse bandwagon to eat up all the Fallout's shit after they left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But instead of post-apocalypse, go ahead.
I was gonna say, let me clarify that. It's not post-apocalypse I don't like. It's post-apocalypse Mad Max, where everything's made out of junk. I get annoyed at that. I like.
So you mean every game that's coming out? Rage 2.
Yeah,
that game looks dope. I'm sorry, that game looks sweet.
I played the first one. I didn't care for it, but I think it was just because it was.
The first one sucked. The first one was no fun.
Antique by the time I got to it, and it wasn't any good. But I like modern shooters and guns, or flipping over to like space age shit. I don't like running around feeling like I'm supposed to be this powerful badass, and I have a gun made out of a pipe and an air compressor shooting ball bearings at people. I'm like, this is stupid.
Well, if you want modern day or future, you're gonna love the next game we talk about. Ancestors Humankind Odyssey, survival monkey game. Just the only note I wrote down was strange monkey game. Did you guys watch the trailer for this one?
I didn't see that. No, I didn't know that.
I saw your notes and I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
Peggy 16. I can't. You got to just watch the trailer. We're gonna zoom past that one, but do yourself a favor, watch the trailer for Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. All right, so next up we got Scavengers. It's from the people that made Halo 5 Warzone.
I either passed it, or because it wasn't interesting, or I just completely missed it because I don't have any notes and I didn't see anything about it whatsoever. There wasn't any buzz about it when I was looking.
It's like a team-based, trying to complete a goal as a team type thing, but nobody cares. Let's move to our next topic: Crash Team Racing Remake. Does anybody care?
I don't, and this monkey game looks shit.
I was going to say the exact opposite. This monkey game looks awesome. You're walking around with a baby monkey on your back, like beating shit up. That looks pretty sweet. Actually, the graphics look really good, but I don't have a PlayStation, so it's not something I would get.
Yeah, if it's a console only, then it's double.
I don't
totally
think
not interested.
I don't think that's the case. So, all right, Crash Team Racing. I've heard Mario Kart ripoff.
Yeah, Mario Kart ripoff. I'm sorry. I didn't play the original.
You were the fanboy of the PlayStation. This should have been your
Yeah,
shit.
but when that game came out, Dreamcast was already like I think
Okay.
Dreamcast was announced. Like the PlayStation was worthless in like late 98, 99. The PlayStation sucked, man. It was all about the Dreamcast at that point.
There you go.
I
Alright,
would
so-
consider it, by the way, but probably not buy it because I
No,
do
that's-
like
no,
I
that's
kind of
a-
like the racing games, but
That's a definite red box rent for a weekend or play at your friend's house type situation.
yeah.
Next on the list from Obsidian Games, Fallout Space, also known as the Outer Worlds. Obsidian, the guys behind the original Fallout games, Fallout 1, Fallout 2. They made Fallout New Vegas.
Well, no. Original Fallout games were by Interplay. They did New Vegas. Obsidian did New Vegas.
They were also the team that made the first two Fallout games.
They were the same team?
They might not have been called Obsidian at the time, but they were the guys
Okay.
that made the first two Fallout games.
All right.
I want to know more about it, but I'm very, very interested because this seems like the Fallout game that I always wanted to play, where it isn't
Mhm.
Junktown. And
Yep.
I want to know what kind of things you can do. Can you get into a spaceship, go around? Are you stuck on a planet? What are you actually doing in the game? But I was surprised that the engine that they're using for it is the same engine that they currently put for Fallout 76, and that game looks like garbage.
Yep.
This one, like the animations that I saw for the faces, they were passable for today's standards, but they do look a little wonky. I think they're probably gonna get some shit
They
for
don't-
Just
that.
Definitely
clicking
have
through
that
the trailer,
as
it
the-
looks a lot like Bioshock to me. But
Isn't
It's
it called the
definitely-
Creation Engine? Is that what that is?
I don't know. It's one of my favorite engines because it's always broken,
Yeah.
and my
See, that's not a plus to me. Like I know people like the Bethesda broken shit, but I'm like, all right, come on, it's not cute anymore.
All right, it depends on what it does, really. It's sort of like the Red Dead games with their glitches, how they become just like part of the game, and it's interesting to see a guy doing a T-pose flying through the air. Like there wasn't anything more fun than sitting there trying to see how many potions you could put in a basket in like Oblivion before the thing just started vibrating violently and exploding all over the room, possibly taking you out. But yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I want to see it.
I think this game is very far away. I think that they just saw how poorly Fallout 76 was doing. Like, oh, hey, we made that Fallout game that actually people liked. Everyone hates Fallout right now. We should probably show something to, capitalize on all this bad publicity.
That game is a grave they keep trying to dig themselves out of, and they just keep throwing the dirt on their own face.
Yeah. What the hell's that?
My bad. There we go. Is it Obsidian owned by Microsoft now? Did they buy?
Yes, and that's
so
another
it's a
crazy
Microsoft
thing.
Exclusive.
And no, it's not.
How's it not a Microsoft exclusive? They bought Obsidian.
It's not.
Hey, what's the point of buying a studio if you're not going to keep it?
I don't know if it's
exclusive?
because they were making it already for all the other games before they got bought, but let me fact check that for a second while you guys, talk about it. But I'm pretty sure that it's not. I think that they announced that that's going to be a PlayStation 4 game.
Well, do you guys
Yes,
care too
it's
much?
set to be released on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Are you guys
Okay.
big players of the Skyrims and the Fallouts?
No, I had Skyrim on a PlayStation 3, which is historically one of the buggiest pieces of garbage to ever grace the earth.
It was pretty bad.
Then I got caught up in the Fallout 4 hype.
That game
the
was trash. I didn't even
the
buy it.
post E3 where they're like, and it's gonna be out in 3 months, and then like they're just pounding you with fucking awesome shit, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta buy this. Clay loves this game. He talks about it all the time. I love Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. This is gonna be great. And then I didn't like it. I think I can tell you exactly what I did in that game. I started the game. They gave you a power armor right away. The power armor ran out of batteries. I didn't realize that was part of the plan. Like it was just to get you in the thing and then immediately have it run out of batteries and take all your power away. I spent 5 minutes looking for a battery, couldn't find one, and quit.
The game sucked. I don't care what it says. The game was that. No, It was ugly. It was ugly as shit, and it had.
Fallout 4.
Can't believe they had the balls to release a game that ugly and that late at the console life. Like, ugly game.
I enjoyed it. I was not a fan of the Fallout series until 3 came out when they changed everything, and I think I bought it for the Xbox 360. I think that's what it came out on. Played the shit out of it, and then the whole time I'm playing it, I'm thinking to myself, this would be a lot better to play on the PC. So I abandoned it, bought it on the PC, installed some mods, crashed the game constantly because the mods are the lifeblood of all those games. And it's like the most unstable fucking Jenga tower every time you start getting into that. But yeah, I still like those.
Yeah, that's definitely not my jam. Some fact checking. Obsidian was made by some guys from Black Isle. They made Fallout 2, not Fallout 1. And Obsidian is definitely owned by Microsoft now. And this game is scheduled to be released on the PlayStation 4, which is a very strange turn of events.
Does Microsoft understand when you buy a studio, like what you do with them?
No, I don't think they do. They've never had like good game studios that they actually owned to, make games for them. So.
They had Remedy, which did Quantum Break, which I think if Quantum Break would have given enough time and money, the game could have been really something special.
That was the one with the TV show tie-in, correct?
Yeah, but it had a bunch of
the real. They probably should have done that.
The TV show, it was all, everything was on the disc. It was weird. It was worth the play. It was neat. It's from the people that made Max Payne, so I mean, it was a legit game and it was really cool. What's that?
Oh, the original Max Payne.
Original Max Payne. It was published by Rockstar. No, they didn't publish it. Remedy made the game. I forget who. Someone else published it.
Rockstar owns the license right now, so
they do. They made Max Payne 3, which actually was a pretty decent game. It was pretty underrated, I think.
Again, because Rockstar's not going to make anything but Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead games until they end of time.
Yeah, that's
too much money. All right, next up, from the Ark Survival Evolved team, they have a new game. It's called Atlas. You guys care?
No.
Steve is our resident Ark Survival Evolved expert.
No, I really like the game, but I never played online with people, which is what you're supposed to do with all of them. So, is it cool? Yeah. Am I gonna play it? No.
This trailer, it doesn't look like any of it's actually gameplay. I mean, it looks pretty sweet. Is this an MMO?
They're calling it an MMO/survival.
So I mean, the graphics look pretty badass. If that was actual gameplay for an MMO,
40,000 simultaneous players on a map 12,000 times bigger, or 1,200 times bigger than an Ark server. I don't know, Max and Tim, if you guys have seen Ark Survival Evolved, but my old roommate Abe was obsessed with this game. And he crammed 2 GTX 1080 or GTX 980 Ti's into his PC,
just so he could run at 15 frames per second,
just so he could see it at 50. It's true. He wanted to play it at 4K. Man, those textures look pretty as shit when they chugged by at 2 frames a second.
Yeah. That was the worst optimized game I have ever played when I first got it.
It's on the Switch now, by the way, so you can only imagine how well it runs on the Switch.
Well, when that came out, I don't know if it was pretty soon after it came out. Our friend Shank and I, we played the hell out of it, and we just used a private server, just the two of us, because neither of us were into the PvP. And shit, we probably sunk a couple 100 hours into that, just like building giant bases, getting dinosaurs. There were at the time like 4 or 5 caves that all had an artifact deep in them. And then you could use those to summon like a boss, and it would kind of be like an end game content. So we were aiming for that, and yeah, just sunk tons and tons of time into it and never quite got that far. So it was a ton of fun. I used to sit there and watch all the drama unfold between all the people playing the actual online through the dedicated servers. And it would just be these whole things where like the Chinese would only be on during like Chinese prime time, and they would just ransack the American bases, and then America would wake up and try to ransack the Chinese bases, and it was just this like huge back and forth, and then all of a sudden a bunch of Russian players would come in and fuck everything up, and it was like basically World War III a couple of years ago in digital form with dinosaurs. It was really fucking funny to listen to that.
That sounds like one of those games that's more fun just to read the drama about, like Eve.
Yeah. Instead
Yeah,
of
would-
dropping
More fun.
thousands of
Just to-
dollars, you just watch
Yeah.
the videos or whatever.
Yeah, that would be really fucking annoying because it took forever to like get into a dangerous spot to mine metal, to bring enough of it back, smelt it down, which took a while, get the fucking fuel for the fire, build something out of metal like a metal wall, just to have somebody with a T-Rex just like break it down, and you're like, well, that took me like 13 hours to build this one section of wall, and overnight somebody put like a $2 depth charge there and just blew it the fuck up.
Yeah, it gives you
Like,
something to do tomorrow. Rebuild
Yeah.
that wall.
No, you make your own shit and you go blow up their base.
Well, it doesn't sound like Pirate Ark Survival Evolved is going to be piquing any of our interests. So on to the next topic. Hashtag the Dread Wolf Rises. You guys know what this means?
No.
Oh,
Dragon guys Dragon-
God.
You guys Dragon Age fans?
I enjoyed the first one. The second one kind of fucking sucked. And then what happened to the third one? Is that a console exclusive? or is that
Inquisition. It was Inquisition.
Inquisition, it was definitely they started making it when they thought that an MMO was a good idea. And then they realized there's shit, people don't like playing MMOs that aren't called World of Warcraft. So let's take the MMO part out, but leave all the shitty MMO quests in it, like the gather 5 loaves of bread and bring them back to me, and repeat that 1,000 times.
What is that on, or what distribution platform is it?
That
stuck
was
on?
a early PlayStation 4, Xbox One. I remember your
And 360. It was on Xbox
it was cross gen. Your cousin brought it over one time. Like, you were still living back at your parents' house, and he was like crazed about how, oh, look, man, when you walk in the snow moves out of the way. The only memory I have of a Dragon Age Inquisition.
I jumped in at 2, and that game two really was a bad game, and that's why I kind of was interested in Inquisition, because like, well, oh, yeah, we admit 2 sucks, so try Inquisition. And I am like Inquisition.
Yeah,
I just didn't like any of them.
I'm not sure if that was a console exclusive. I don't know if it came to PC or not. I would imagine it did.
Inquisition came to PC. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's got to be locked to something because I've never seen it on Steam, and I don't.
No, it's an EA property, so it'd be
probably
on
on
Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. Because I also missed out on, shit. What's the space one?
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect 3. Because 2 is sort of mediocre for me. I really liked 1, and then 3 came out, and it was an Origin exclusive, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about your Origin nonsense.
No, you probably dodged a bullet on that one because, well, actually, 3 is still good. It was the next one, Andromeda, that caught.
Yeah, the trilogy was good. The trilogy was good. Yeah. Andromeda was an abortion.
Yeah, 3 got a bunch of accolades, and 4 got shit on.
Well, 3 had the really shitty ending that people like got all butthurt about, and they actually had like made a patch and made a different ending because everyone was pissy about that.
Yeah, and I remember people complaining about them shoehorning PvP in because you can't have a goddamn game nowadays that doesn't have PvP in it.
Yeah,
definitely. That's how you sell your cosmetics to make your money. Well, speaking of EA, off topic, I was in the alpha for Anthem, BioWare's game that they're actually working on now, and what I can tell you is that the alpha exists, and I was part of it, but I can't say anything else. Big topic. Next one. Lost my mind. Texted Tim at like 3:00 in the morning to say Mortal Kombat 11 is coming April 23rd, 2019. Get fucking hyped.
I can't fucking wait. That's my jam. I'm gonna go buy the biggest, most expensive special fucking edition you could buy. I don't care what it costs.
Big old statue.
You
have a Scorpion one already, man. Hopefully they
I
have
do.
Different.
Season passes and everything.
The biggest news coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch.
With the blood removed.
The thing is, I think it'd be hilarious. I think it would be absolutely right on the nose if they didn't have blood in that game. You had to put a blood code in.
Yeah, it needs to be A, B, A, C, C, A, B, B, A.
Yeah.
That sounds strange, right? Yes, I think you're right.
That's the
I
second
think
one.
I might be off by one A or
No,
C.
that was right.
But
or
ABA.
This is pretty close. It's pretty close.
ABA.
Yeah, because I had the Genesis version and I fucking memorized that.
Oh yeah,
You
that was
gotta have
the
that blood
best
code.
version to have.
Yeah.
Gotta have that blood code. All right, Tim. What do you want to see in this game?
How long have you been a fan of the series?
Me?
Yeah.
Beginning.
Okay.
I ever since like I saw it in the freaking roller skating rink, I was like, this game is dope, and I can't get enough of it, man.
In a
Like,
roller rink? Wow.
in a roller rink, dude, and that was
That's
it.
good.
I was hooked, and you know, I played hours upon hours of like the first one, all of them. I put hours in all of them, and like that. Believe it, the second one is my all-time favorite. The second one is, I think, the best. But that's just, I think nostalgia talks there. But
The thing is, I'm probably the same way because I think 3's the best.
three's a great. 3 gets a lot of shit, but 3's a great
Ultimate
game.
3 is my favorite.
Yeah, I like the dial combo. People bitching about the dial combo. Nah, the dial combo was great. The game's hyper fast, man. If you get good at that game is super fast, and it's pretty sweet. But
this is a bad question because you're gonna buy it. They literally could put a turd inside a Mortal Kombat 11 box and you would buy it.
fuck yeah!
But what do you want to see in this game? What
more horror. I really
more-
dug the horror characters they put in. Like Leatherface was my main for a while. When like everyone come over, dude, it was Leatherface and like Melina and like
Yeah.
Katana. Like those were the ones I played with. Like I love the special characters. I love the last 9 they had Freddy Krueger and all them. It's like, man, I like to see. Someone said rumor like Chucky or something. I don't know. Any more horror characters, man. Pinhead. I think that's dope as shit when they do stuff like that.
That'd be cool. I don't know if they're gonna jam them back in there again, if they're gonna be the same, or if they're gonna be there at release. I can't imagine that they're gonna be DLC characters again. People are gonna be pretty sour about having to pay money for them in another game. So I can't imagine them being DLC characters. Maybe they're in there, maybe they're special characters, maybe I don't know what we'll see. Did you see Dead by Daylight? You've been following Dead by Daylight at all? They packed in all those horror characters.
I almost bought that on Xbox because I think that's the next.
Yeah.
Nah, maybe it's out on PS4. It sounded cool. I played the Friday 13th game, which is very similar.
same game.
And, I liked it, but I found myself getting bored with it after like I want to play as the killer the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't want to play it. I want to play as Jason and the killer. So like, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like I had like 5 matches of not the killer. I'm like, so that's my thing about those games. I think they're neat, but I'm impatient as shit.
Mm-hmm. They're more fun to watch. They're a streaming game.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, at least recently, has been like the only fighting game that I give a shit about the story, and they always put so much polish into their storytelling, and I really hope they do the same. Yeah.
Yeah, they did Injustice. It's NetherRealm. Like I mean, and they even said we're gonna have a story. Everything's gonna be back like it was. Challenge Towers, but the Challenge Towers are great. I mean, for bang for your buck, I know people got a little pissy about X's microtransactions, but the core game, what you got with that game, you got a lot of content for that game, man. Like all them, the story mode alone was like 5-6 hours for the story mode alone. It's like you just don't
compare it to the other games, especially the ones that fell out of the gate, like Street Fighter V, which was just so content light compared to what you get in a Mortal Kombat game. It's not even a comparison.
No, Street Fighter V felt like a demo.
Yeah,
and I have a Street Fighter. Like I like Street Fighter, but that game, I was really disappointed in that game. That was a demo. Like I really felt they missed the mark on that one.
It wasn't there. Well, the one thing that I am a little concerned about, and I need to do a little bit more research on, but they're talking about custom characters in Mortal Kombat 11, and that was the one thing I didn't like about Injustice 2. And I don't like about Smash Brothers. I don't want to be able to modify my character to be any different than the way the game developer intended it to be, because that's the way
or different performing.
I hope that it's just different character, variations on their costumes and things like that. Because I know in Injustice you could modify how hard they hit and how much damage they took and things.
Well,
like
you can turn all that off.
I know you can, but I just don't even like to think about it being there. It pisses me off that you can change it, because a fighting game is all about balance, and when you can completely throw the balance off like that, I
get what you're saying. I think it adds. To me, that was a single player element more than a multiplayer element. That it kind of extended the way you play the single player game. But from what I remember, every time we went online, like you had to.
I'm pretty sure it took them away, and you could.
Yeah,
play,
it was all cosmetic.
Yeah, you could play with the boosts locally if you wanted to just do split screen and be able to do your shit. But
I think that worked out well for the newest Soul Calibur, because I think you could make a custom character, but you imported the move set from whatever
from another.
Yeah,
that would be really dope if they put in a really in-depth character creator where you can do some of the cool stuff that they're doing over.
People made some really funny shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am nothing but thrilled for Mortal Kombat 11, but right now the biggest fighting game in the world is Smash Brothers, and they dropped a hammer that I don't care about, but it leaves me excited for. Joker from Persona 5 is the next downloadable character in Smash Brothers.
Did anyone play Persona here? Anyone? Nobody?
No. I knew that was your jam back on Vita.
Oh, Golden. Oh.
Yeah.
4. Oh yeah. No, I played 5. 5 was really good. I mean, Persona games are solid games. You guys ever get a chance to play them, man? Like you talk about, take a lot of hours in them.
That's the thing. That's a Switch game, man. Like if this is a lead in that they're gonna bring Persona 5 to the Switch, come on, man. If I can pick that up and sit in front of the couch while TV's on watching something else and just grind out some things, I mean that's perfect for that.
I will buy that game again on the Switch. I have it on the PS4, but that's the thing. I think Golden Persona 4 on the Vita works so much better than it did on I like the idea of just going anywhere, because the games, they're slow games. They're not real fast, not real twitchy, and it's just nice to be able to just take it wherever you want. So I would definitely buy Persona 5 again on the Switch.
Max, I think Persona 5 might be your jam. It's a grindy game, hundreds and hundreds of hours. You might be able to beat it in a weekend, but still.
Maybe. So what is it? Is it like just a RPG, basically?
Yeah. Very Japanesey. I mean, it is. It's one of them Japanese games that it is not tailored to an American audience, but Americans like it, so they localize it. But it's not Americanized whatsoever. It is a very Japanesey game. They have the whole Persona series is they didn't mess with it, and so you got to take that along with it, which I think is part of its charm. But
yeah,
I like games that you have to grind forever in. So
very grindy. You make I say you make friends. A lot of it is making friends with people. They call them social links, and it's part Pokemon because you have to collect these personas. So you collect these personas, you fuse them together, you make more powerful personas, and then you go in the dungeons and fight, all while trying to maintain these social links / friendships in the real world, because you're going to the shadow world, and that's where you do all your fighting and all your personas and stuff. And so it's like a couple games in the one, because it is like a Pokemon game, and you want to collect every single persona out there, and then it's like a dating simulator because you'll make girlfriends and stuff, so you got to make them happy and take them out. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on in the game, and it's when you explain to somebody, you're like, yeah, you got to just make friends and hang out. They're like, that sounds dumb. I'm like, you got to play it. You got to see it. It's fun. It's not dumb. Trust me.
Yeah, I think that I can see them doing a Persona 5 Sapphire or whatever. I don't know what they would do, and just bring it out for Switch. Hell, they didn't even bring it out for Vita too. They brought all those dancing games out, and they're on Vita. So why the hell not?
So
it's not a very graphically heavy game. The way its art style is, it's pretty, but it's not super. The Switch could definitely do it, no problem. And the problem is making the cartridge fit it. I mean, well, that's not a problem. You can always just make it downloadable. But I know everyone squawks about they only sell 16 gig cartridges.
Yeah, there's no.
I think that's a pretty decent sized game.
So who is Joker in this game?
He's the main character.
He's the main character.
He's the main character in Persona. He's you, because you're all Persona games. They don't actually the main character isn't really a character. It's supposed to be you. So yeah, they just call him. That's his avatar name in the Shadow World, Joker.
Yeah.
But it's you.
Cool.
But this opens up a world, and sorry to drop this one on you. I don't know if you guys have thought about it, but Persona 5 is not even a game for a Nintendo system, and yet he's going to be in Smash Brothers. Throw me a wild card, crazy character that you'd like to see in Smash Brothers. Anybody? Sorry, should have put this one in the old run
Scorpion.
sheet. The thing is, that's not crazy. I've been tossing that idea around. I've been kicking it over subreddit to like see what other people are saying. Most people are saying Sub-Zero makes more sense because his move set is less violent.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So you don't have to be spearing people and doing things. You know, the whole freezing also,
But you
would
have Solid
translate.
Snake who pulls out a fucking rocket launcher and shoots
He
you
does.
with it. I mean,
Throws grenades. I mean, it's
yeah,
not
it's
it's not
pretty
that far.
violent.
You know, I don't even think that's that crazy of an idea for a Mortal Kombat character to come into Smash Brothers.
I think it'd be cool. I think definitely be cool. I mean, I would say Street Fighter, but they pulled Ryo in there, which I like Ryo.
Yeah. I don't like playing with him because I always accidentally use his like quarter because you can actually do the Street Fighter button combos in Smash Brothers to do his smash moves instead of using the B button, and I do it by accident a lot.
My wife bought me the Japanese Ryu amiibo, actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's hanging in my basement.
There you go, man.
That's one of my prized possessions. I really like that. I don't know why I like it so much because it's real Japanese, so it's all like Japanese all over the box and everything. I don't know why I think it's so cool, but it's cool.
I have a Japanese Link amiibo because my dog ate my American when my wife couldn't get it. I was trying to replace it, and the American ones were going for like $90 on eBay.
Oh.
He was able to get a Japanese one for a lot cheaper. The big names that are going around in Smash Brothers that everyone wants to see. Those are your Banjo-Kazooie, your Crash Bandicoots, your Spyro, things like that. And I don't think that any of them are out of the realm of possibilities.
Dan, I got one for you.
Okay.
I was trying to think of something obnoxious that they'd never put on.
Please, because I guarantee you there's something more obnoxious already on Super Smash Brothers.
So I was like, what is a game or something annoying, like some bad blood that happened between Nintendo and somebody else? And I couldn't think of it, but I want to see Conker on there.
Oh yeah.
Actually, that'd be awesome.
That'd be pretty dope. Yeah. I mean, that's another Microsoft-owned thing, just like Banjo, but Microsoft, they've been playing nice, man. They've been playing nice.
I can't see them playing that nice.
If they were coming out with a Banjo game, which I don't know that they are, there's no better publicity they could do than to put Banjo in Smash Brothers and say, Banjo's here, want to play his real game? You got to come over and play it on Xbox One.
I see. It makes sense, but one, I don't think they're making a Banjo game. I think that last Banjo game sold really poorly. And
Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah.
The crafting game that really wasn't a Banjo game.
I'm not saying whatever you thought it was still a Banjo game that didn't sell well. So it's hard for them to want to put any money to a game that, people say they want it. It's like Nintendo, like Reggie even says about Metroid. He goes, "You guys all scream about Metroid. When we make a Metroid, no one buys it.
Nobody buys it. It's Metroid. Like I was having this discussion with one of my coworkers about, the top grossing Nintendo franchises, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's got to be like Star Fox and Metroid." I'm like, "No, dude, they're not even in the top 10." Like it's like Wii Sports and Nintendogs and Tamagotchi and like all kinds of crazy shit. But like the stuff that you think are the big Nintendo bangers they're really people don't come out for. They're not the Mario of the world, and there's a huge drop off between like a 2D Mario and a Zelda game. I mean, the people don't even come out that hard for Zelda games until recently. The attach rate on the new one's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, Max, what's your favorite video game of all time?
Probably Final Fantasy 11.
Final Fantasy 11. So they already have Cloud in there. So who do you want from Final Fantasy?
Give me a generic red mage.
Just
from
a
Final
Red
Fantasy 11.
Final Fantasy 11. That would be a pretty good one. That you could the move set would be there. You have a sword already, so the smash attacks are all there. I like it.
Wait, Ryan, what race?
What race?
All of them, dude. That would be the best part. You could change their outfits like they do in Smash, and you could just toggle through all the different races.
You got to be a Taru. There's no other option.
Their hitbox would be really small.
Yeah, I guess that might be cheating, but
I was thinking that, or if they were doing fan service, what are the cat people called?
Mithra.
Yeah, that's definitely fan servicey right there.
There wasn't a whole lot of Mithra red mages. Nobody really flew that high. All right, so that was Do You Care? Let's throw in a little catch-all for the Game Awards news that we might have missed. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about Game Awards related?
Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
Devil May Cry looks awesome.
Devil May Cry does look pretty good. Were you a fan of DMC, the one that everyone hated?
Yeah, actually I was. I thought that game was. I didn't understand the hate from it at all. I thought that game played really well, looked really good, awesome soundtrack. Like I really, I thought it was a much better game than Devil May Cry 4. Devil May Cry 4 was really shitty, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for it, but DMC was better than Devil May Cry 4. Like,
hey,
a long shot.
I didn't play either of them, so I can't give you shit. I played 1 and 2.
I played 2. I like 2.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun games. I think Capcom's just back in the swing of things. I think they're really firing all cylinders with everything they got going on with them. I think they finally got Street Fighter nailed down. They got Monster Hunter going strong. They got Resident Evil back on course. They actually brought. That's another thing. DMC was not made by Capcom. It was published by Capcom, but it was made by Ninja Theory. Now this new DMC, this new Devil May Cry is actually made by Capcom again. So they're starting to bring everything back in house, and it's showing. And I really think they're.
It didn't make the show because none of us are big Monster Hunter fans, but they just released like a whole calendar year's worth of updates for Monster Hunter.
I can't stand that game. I tried, but
including a free trial. Not for PC though, Steve.
Yeah, I really do want to.
I was gonna tease you with that because I know you wanted to play it. They announced the free play weekend or free play week. You could play for free, but it's only for the console.
You know what? At this point, I honestly wouldn't do it because if it was as good as I want it to be, I would want to buy it. And right this moment is not the best time to buy shit because I'm just straight broke. Like I think I got and
time. You're probably time broke too. I mean, Christmas time, you got a lot of responsibilities and to try to jump into a Monster Hunter game, like the grindiest of all grindy games.
Yeah.
And
I got a 3DS for you. I'll bring it to you next time. I got a 3DS Monster Hunter 4 on it. It's actually the Monster Hunter Special Edition 3DS. It's in my toolbox at work. It never gets played, so I'll let you borrow it and see what you think.
I have a 3DS that we bought just to play Pokemon after the Pokemon Go craze hit, because Sarah just wanted to like play it, and we probably have a grand total of like 5 hours worth since we purchased that many years ago. And recently I picked up because I wanted to play some stuff upstairs on the couch with them. And I went to the eShop, found out that I had like $50 in there. I think I never put money on it, so I don't know where that money came from. So I bought some like cheap games to test it out, and they downloaded. And I was thinking about one of the Monster Hunters, but I don't know which ones are good and which ones are horseshit.
I know people say that's the thing. I can't give you the cartridge because I bought the special edition, so it's pre-downloaded on the console. So I'm going to let you borrow the system. People say 4 is really good. They say that's like it's the new 3DS as well. So apparently, if you play that game on the old 3DS, it chugs real bad. So the new quote unquote 3DS is supposed to handle a lot better. So I'm not getting any use out of it. So if you can get some use out of it, that's awesome.
World is supposedly the one you're supposed to jump into. That's the one that they made accessible for new fans to jump in. The mechanics in that game are just stupid. So like to try to jump in to an old one without somebody to tell you what to do, I don't know if that's such a good idea.
Yeah, I definitely want to play World. The only thing that's really stopping me is the price point. I've been waiting for it to hit maybe like $20 to $15, and it keeps just like getting
hovers around 30. Usually hovers around 30 when it goes on sale.
Yeah, I was really tempted during the fall sale, but like I said, it's the holiday season. It's just not the right time to spend any like significant amount of money. So I passed, and I'm hoping that there's a winter or Christmas sale that goes on from like the end of Christmas into the new year, because somebody's going to wind up getting me like a Steam gift card, and then I'll just be able to guilt-free get whatever shit I want. But right now I'm sitting there and I'm looking at like a $30 game, and I'm like, that is like 3 days of lunch at work, and I think I need to eat. So yeah.
We'll pack for 3 days and then buy the goddamn game. If they would have had the Final Fantasy 14 crossover event line up with a sale, I'd own it right now, because I think it would be really cool to take on Behemoth.
Are the are all the crossover things temporary?
Yeah, they're all timed events.
Okay. See, I thought everything just sort of unlocked
Nope.
as like a forever
I say
DLC.
that confidently, not knowing if I'm 100% right on that, but I'm gonna go with nope.
You know what? When I do get it, I'll let you know.
If you get it, I'm buying it. Like you can't play that game by yourself. I mean, you can, but that's a game that's way more fun to play.
That game is not fun by yourself. I can tell you right now.
So if you get it, I'm gonna get it too. So, and I also know when you get it that it's at its cheapest point.
Yeah.
So,
hey, I got a child. That's the second mortgage. Everything is like as cheap as I can get away with it right now.
Yeah. The one thing that I don't know that is going to lead well to your life and even mine is that I think once you start a hunt, you got to finish it. Like you can't just pause it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bode well for hop in, hop out, which is what I do. 99% of my gaming is done in 15-minute chunks. So
hop in, hop out isn't too bad for me. It's just like the sheer limited amount of time I have. I get like between 1 to, if I want to basically sacrifice my next day, like 1 to 3 hours a night to play, unless something else is going on, and that doesn't lend itself to pretty much any sort of online game. And more so, if I'm not having fun in a game, I just won't play it because my time is so limited that I need to make the best of it. That's why I like wait till things get cheap, and I also wait because I don't want to buy anything brand new and find out it sucks, and now I wasted both my money and a bunch of my time that I could have spent doing something else that I already know is supposed to be gold.
I hear you. I'm there 100% with you. Is there anything else from the Game Awards that I might have glossed over that
the only notes,
fancy?
Only notes that I had is that there's a lot of buzz about Hades, which seems to be a new exclusive to the Epic launcher made by the people who made Bastion. It looks interesting, but it's not interesting enough to make me involve myself in yet another platform.
Yeah.
What is it? Is that a space game?
No, it's like another Diablo clone.
Oh, okay.
Anthem. The only thing I can say about Anthem is that it looks like Destiny 3, except more open world. I can't really figure out what the deal is with it. That's not just like an MMO Destiny, except again open world instead of like little pockets of instance. It looks interesting, but I put it as I would buy it on a sale, and I probably wouldn't buy it at all because once again I think it's going to be stuck on Origin.
Most definitely. The nice thing about it being on Origin, and I think you were fixing your camera when I was saying it. If it's on Origin, that means it's on Origin Access Premier, which is their subscription service.
Oh yeah, I did.
And I'm totally fine with paying $15 to try this damn game out because I know. I mean, if it catches me and I know it's going to be something I play for a long time, all right, I'll drop the money on it. But I'd rather spend $15 on the subscription service, play it for a day. If I like it, great. If I don't like it, there's 100 other games in here that I can screw around with for a month, and then just cancel the damn subscription.
Yeah.
EA sucks. Don't support EA. Hate EA.
Well, I guess you won't be playing Anthem.
I won't be playing anything EA. They killed Dead Space. Fucking Visceral's dead and Dead Space is gone. That's like a knife to the heart. I can't take that. That's awful.
People just give them a ton of shit for a ton of different reasons, between awful microtransactions, buying and killing game studios so they can have the rights. It's not really any good, but particularly for me, I'm not going to pick up yet another online marketplace where I have to keep my games separate since I'm already 500 to 800 games deep in Steam. I just don't want more shit on my computer unless they have something that can really drag me over.
Well, sorry to keep dragging you back into this topic, and I didn't put it in here because I know you guys are sick of talking about it, but Epic, the Epic Store, we talked about this whole drama about, digital storefronts and competition and all this crap, and now Epic have released their storefront. There are already a bunch of games that are announcing that they're only going to launch on Epic because of the being able to capture a bigger part of the profits.
Yeah, and, I mean
Epic
same
Epic also just said today that they're going to give their net for multi-platform play out for free to anybody who wants it. So if you need the APK to implement multi-platform play into your game, Epic's giving it to you for free. So, I mean, they're just doing everything right. And like I said, one of these days I'm going to sit down and do some research and figure out how many PCs have Fortnite on them, which means they already have the Epic Store on them. And it's probably getting pretty damn close to Steam numbers.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a really good competitor, but just from my own standpoint, since I don't like having lots of different marketplaces to deal with, they would need a bunch of games or one really, really good game that I just couldn't resist playing on there, and they don't have it. I mean, I played Fortnite when we were messing around with it. Didn't really care for it that much, and then I just deleted everything on it. Wouldn't sit there and play it for Hades. Wouldn't sit there and play it for whatever. There was another exclusive that they had here or there. And it's the same thing with Origin. Origin has a lot of good games on it. I'm just not going to bother with. Dragon Age 4 was one of them that's going to be on there. I'm not going to do it. Not unless it turns out to be some sort of AAA fucking game that people can't stop talking about and drooling over. And I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Is Epic, does that cost money to use, or is that just like a storefront? Is it like Steam?
It's just a storefront like Steam, yeah.
So it doesn't cost any money to buy anything from there.
I mean, it costs you money to buy the game. It doesn't cost you any more or less money. I mean,
why would you just not have like the storefront? Like, what's wrong with having both if it doesn't cost you any? Like, I understand Origin costs you money, but if Epic's free, like, yeah, Origin's $15 a month, isn't it?
Well, that's for the subscription service. That's to get every game. You just pay. You only pay the $15 a month, then you get all the EA games.
I see.
Yeah, it's just a personal thing for me that I don't like purchasing games on platforms other than Steam, because you wind up having like 5 or different launchers, because you'd have like the good old games. You have Green Man, unless they're the same, or Green Man never launched one. Origin, Uplay, Steam, Epic Game Launcher, Blizzard Launcher. There's probably like 5 other ones that have already came and went since then, and I don't want my games all over the place. I don't care to do that. I don't want to boot up my computer and see like 5 of these fucking things pop up. I tolerate the Blizzard launcher just because the Blizzard storefront had enough games to draw me in, and I own like 5 of those games, so I can install and play them whenever I want. Whereas, I don't want any more after that. At least Steam is nice enough to work with Uplay, where like the Far Cry 5, as soon as you download it and you hit play, it'll open Uplay in the background and whatever that piece of shit does, and then it'll start your game.
Yeah, it's just, I think that Epic is going to take market share faster than anybody could have ever imagined. It's just the install base is there, and it's too lucrative. I mean, especially if you're making the game with Unreal Engine, you don't have to pay the royalty anymore. So not only are you getting a much larger amount of money, you're not paying the 5% royalty that you have to pay on Steam. And if you are getting the opportunity to be placed on a pedestal over on the Epic platform, or in the piles of shit that come out every day in Steam, I just think it's gonna be interesting couple of years here while Epic, just curates a huge market share.
Maybe Valve has to make games again. Maybe we'll get Half-Life 3. Maybe they'll be.
They're making games, man. Dude, Artifact. They made Artifact.
Oh, I'm talking like real, like Half-Life, like real games, not
Half-Life. Half-Life's never happening.
No, Half-Life has the Eddie Murphy problem. I recently was watching some comedians talk, and they said that Eddie Murphy never wanted to go and do stand-up ever again, because it's been so long since he did it, and when he did it, he was like king of the hill, that he can't possibly perform a show that's going to meet anybody's expectations. It is going to get shit no matter what. And at this point, Half-Life 3 has the same problem. People have been waiting for it for so long, and it's so like something that people want that whatever product you make is not going to be satisfactory anymore.
Yeah, no, they're also making entirely too much money. But hey, Tim, you might be right. If they start losing some money to Epic, then they need to get some exclusives. You might see little Portal 3, little Left 4 Dead 3,
Right.
Half-Life 3.
I mean, they're still a development studio. They still make games. They just making more money selling games than making them. So
and selling microtransactions in the games they have now. Did we talk about did I make that in there? The Battle Royale version of Counter-Strike that they announced?
We didn't talk about it. I actually saw a small review of it and I checked it out. I thought it might be interesting to screw around with, but I tried to play CS:GO a little while ago and I forgot what it was like for that style of gunplay, and I fucking suck at it now.
I've never been a Counter-Strike guy. I always accidentally hit the suicide button because I don't remember who taught me how to play, but they always told me to put the suicide button really close to my key binding so that I could kill myself, so that the other team wouldn't get the kills. So I always used to kill myself by accident.
Yeah, that's a really dumb idea, and that's your own fault.
It was probably Phil that told me how to do that. That seems like a really Phil thing to do.
No, we played a shitload of, I think it was 1.6. Ryan, you got it for me, or you guys got it for me when I first got my computer. And then we played a whole bunch of Counter-Strike, played a decent amount of Counter-Strike Source when it came out, and then I just sort of never went back to it until I wanted to play around, and the whole way you shoot and play in that game is completely alien to every other game, and I just can't do it in any competitive sense anymore.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at it nowadays too, but I think it's fun to go back and play it every now and then. I mean, I'm not dropping, 10 hours a week into it, but it's fun every now and then.
Yeah, I think like the best I ever did was maybe break even, and now I can't even break even on like medium bots.
All right, well, we're reaching the end of the show. Christmas is in the air. What are you guys asking Santa Claus for this year for Christmas?
Anything we want.
Anything you want. This is just imagine that, it's just like you were when you were a kid. You didn't have any damn money, but if you asked for it, you most likely got it. Someone wasn't crazy. And Santa Claus brought it down your chimney. What do you want? I want the full. I was at Dave & Buster's this weekend, and they had the Halo player light gun game.
Oh, I want to play that. I want to play that.
I want one of those. I want one of those for my basement. It's not Halo, but it is still fun. It's still fun.
I'm surprised you didn't say a Killer Queen machine.
I do want a Killer Queen machine. I'm in the alpha for that as well. I have to look at my NDA on that. I could probably talk about that. Killer Queen is
a Killer Queen machine.
Killer Queen is going to be the next like big killer app for the Nintendo Switch.
Or so
and
Dan
Steam.
thinks.
No, I don't think so. I know so. And if you looked at it, you would never believe it, but it's just a really fun, simple gameplay mechanic that, is going to take the world by storm. So essentially it's 5v5 in the arcade. It's going to be 4v4 on Steam and Nintendo Switch. One queen on each team, 3 or 4 workers on each team. And you can win the game one of 3 ways, either by collecting a certain number of items, by killing the opponent's queen 3 times, or there's a little snail at the bottom of the screen, and you got to get the snail over to your side, but it moves really, really slow, and you have to sit on him. And if you get killed, he stops moving. So it's like a resource base, and like you have to work as a team and, figure out which ones you're going to go for. And if you start going for kills on the queen, and then all of a sudden they're collecting more resources, or you're not paying attention to the snail, it's it, man. There's like, it's a 5v5 arcades cabinet, and it's like 10 grand for one of them, and I want to buy one really bad. But the places that have them are making their money back on these things because they're having Killer Queen tournaments, and there are people lined up out the block to play this stinking thing. So it's coming out for Steam and Switch next year. It's going to be big.
All right, well, we'll put a little mark on this video so when it takes off really big, you can say I did it. Or
Yep.
if it just fucking flops on its face, right?
I'll just delete. I'll delete. I run the catalog. I could just delete this.
12-12 never happened.
I was really torn, but I actually did put one of these on a Christmas list just to see if somebody might buy it for me. A Nintendo Switch, because I'm not going to buy one for myself, but I would really like to have one, especially now that literally all you sons of bitches went and got one and are trading friends codes. And I'm just sitting here like looking at our group chat and everybody's like, oh, I want to play this Pokemon. We're going to get together and play this fucking. I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like,
that's what I just got from Dolan.
What's that?
It just says Falcon. Yeah. It's like Falcon Punch.
But I don't even know what would be worthwhile on a Switch. I just kind of want to play it because it would be nice to have something.
I'm gonna stop you right there, buddy. It has one of the best Zelda games, if not the best Zelda, Legend of Zelda. It has
that Mario game is fantastic.
It has the best 3D Mario game, hands down. I'm not sure if I'm ready to put it as the best Mario game ever made, but it's the best 3D Mario game ever made. It has the best version of the best Mario Kart game ever made. It has the best version of Smash Brothers that I've ever played. Melee still has a piece, a little piece of my heart where I'm always going to go back to Melee. It was my first big one, but this is definitely better than Brawl. It's definitely better than Smash 4.
Which one was on the GameCube? Brawl?
Melee was on GameCube. That's the one that everyone goes back to. That was usually everybody's first big, extravaganza into the.
Yeah, I had that and I enjoyed it, but I haven't played a fighting game in a long time, and I don't know if I can get back into it. Same with a racing game. So I don't know if I'd get a Mario Kart. I mean,
they're barely racing games. I mean,
yeah, I'd pick up the staples. So yeah, I know everybody really, really liked the Zelda. It still does bother me that I'd have to go buy physical games again and pay the stupid ass price for them. Yeah, you can get the eShop versions, but I would definitely be buying used games on a budget. So yeah,
Nintendo's used games still are really expensive.
Yeah, they stay really expensive.
That's what sucks, because I don't like spending a ton of money on games, especially if I'm not really sure what I'm getting myself into. And lately I've played a handful of Steam games where I was like, either I didn't pay enough for this that I give a shit about it, or I did return some recently. So I'm hesitant. My other choice would have been a VR headset, because I think I'm down for the new experience, if nothing else. And now I have a graphics card that could work it.
Definitely. We'll talk VR next week. I wanted to talk VR this week, but I want to give you guys a little chance to figure out what, if you were going to buy a VR, what would you get? And, Tim owning one, what get you back into it? Things like that. Think about that for next week, because I think that's going to be a good topic. And I don't think that we're going to see a lot of announcements this close to Christmas. So we might have a little bit of a later show. Tim, Mex, got any big Santa Claus wish list items?
I got, it doesn't matter, old, new, it doesn't matter. Anything.
It doesn't matter, man. Santa Claus can make anything, all your dreams come true.
Santa Claus can bring me the complete Mortal Kombat collection in arcade cabinet form, 1 through 4, lined up in the basement, which would be pretty darn cool.
Well, I mean, if you get one item, just a single item,
just bolt them all together.
That's what I'm saying. I'll just tape them all together. It's a machine. One giant long stretch of arcade machines.
Well, if we're gonna
what if you got your request wrong and you just got a copy of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance?
I'd be disappointed.
What about Shaolin Monks? Oh, I'll give you Shaolin Monks too.
See, I never played that game, and people say it's good.
I actually never played that one either.
They say it's really good. Oh, that's what 11's gonna have. They're gonna have a Shaolin Monk style thing, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I get behind that.
Yeah.
I get behind that. Max, what do you got? What's Santa Claus bringing you for Christmas?
I could probably use an upgraded computer just to, be able to stream a little bit better and have things look a little better.
You don't got to ask Santa Claus for that. You got to ask subscribers out there to keep smashing
Our-
that like button, pounding
Well,
that follow,
well,
and leaving
first,
comments
yeah.
down in the sections below.
You could follow us first. That'd be awesome. On Twitch here. But yeah, I think that's what I would take.
Yeah, we
Well-
didn't build your computer as a stream machine when we built it. We just built it
No.
as a.
Well, streaming was not a thing, you know, in our head 5 years ago. So
Is that how
No.
long ago it was?
Yeah, we
maybe 4
we'll-
years.
we'll put some money back into that. We should have been looking throughout Black Friday. We have some money sitting aside for some upgrades. It's just one of those things where your computer's so goddamn old that we can't use anything in it anymore, and it's just disheartening.
Yeah, we'll
Your
see.
RAM,
I mean,
your
I'm not.
RAM's not compatible. Your motherboard's not compatible. Your graphics cards needs to get scrapped. For we got to get you new processors. We need a new motherboard, which means new RAM, and
Hey.
we got to just pretty much start
Yeah,
over.
as soon as you talk about a new processor or motherboard, you're already talking about a new computer because everything else has to get switched.
Yeah,
out for the
we
most
can
part.
put it in the same case.
I don't.
Alright.
Wow. I don't know if it would make any
Santa can't
difference.
afford a computer case for me. That's pretty messed up.
Well, actually, Santa's been looking for something a little bit more portable, but that's for very far down the road for future endeavors. But we need people to like what we're doing
Yeah.
before we start doing anything fun like that.
Yeah.
Get yourself one of those cheap 1070s like I got. That was an amazingly worthwhile purchase, even though that hurt.
No, I'm thinking about putting a Ryzen in his box because you can get them very cheap, like a last gen Ryzen 1600, like an Ryzen 5
Well, I mean,
For
if
like-
you're gonna do,
for like $130, and then you can get a motherboard for like 40. So it's
Yeah,
not. I mean, you
you'd
don't have
have
a whole
to-
lot.
you have to redo his whole setup though, because you still have to buy a new set of RAM for it.
I'm gonna have to
so-
get a RAM. Yeah, the RAM's not compatible. That's the most expensive thing. And it's been coming down. Everything's been the Bitcoin has burst, and chip prices are coming back down to earth, and video card prices are already there.
Yeah, it's not bad, but as soon as you need to do a processor change, you're basically looking at a new computer. You only get to save yourself a handful of parts.
Yeah, I
Is
don't know
there-
what kind of what kind of power supply you have in that. We might be able to reuse that.
The power supply should be fine because I based that pick off of whatever the current gen card was that he had, and the architecture for the 1070s and whatever the AMD series is hadn't come out yet, or if it did, it was like brand new, and that architecture requires less power than the old ones, so it'll still be just fine. It'll probably be over what he needs.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about it right now. That would just
We're
be
doing
a-
okay.
a
We
nice
actually
thing.
haven't had to we haven't streamed anything off your PC.
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah. I mean, just streaming from the Switch is like perfect.
Yep.
You know, if all the processing power is on the Switch, then it doesn't really matter. Or
You got it.
Xbox or whatever.
You got it. All right, boys. I think that's about time to call her a day. Any final words?
We never talked about Keyforge.
Oh my God! How did we go past Keyforge?
let's
I
save
think our
that for
lead-in
next week.
topic. You want to save it?
Yeah, we'll save it for next week.
Sounds good. All right. Come back next week for some in-depth analysis on Keyforge. We really don't have a whole lot to say about it because we played one game and don't really understand what we did, but we have more decks coming, maybe a stream coming this weekend right here on twitch.tv/game night now. You can catch us here every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Catch our back videos over on YouTube. We're on Spotify, and you can also catch us soon on iTunes. For Steve, Mex, and Tim, I'm Dan. See you guys later.
Have a good night.